Hi, Year 4. Today is Thursday. It's the final day of the week, and this is your last lesson for today. So I'm sure you are all excited to just complete it and get on with your weekend, and I completely understand it. Today's lesson is going to be a little easier than the last one. In the last lesson, we had two activities. This lesson only includes one activity, so you should be fine, and hopefully it will be easy enough for you to complete. I am going to go through everything with you so you would understand what exactly is expected of you. Okay? All right, let me open the PowerPoint presentation for you. There we go. So, today we are going to talk about Hadrian's Wall again, okay? But in a bit of a different way today. Right, you will be able to describe who Emperor Hadrian was, say when, how, and why he built a wall, and explain the features of the wall, like what the wall looked like, what kind of rooms and things it had. All right, in this lesson, you will both describe and draw the features of Hadrian's wall. All right, first slide, what can you actually remember from the last lesson? Okay, so take a minute to just think about what do we remember about Hadrian's Wall, where was it built, for what reason, and so on. All right, but still, let's just go through this together. Um, there we go. So basically, as you know, Britain was occupied by Romans, okay? In the north of Britain was a country called Scotland, and the tribes there were called the Picts. The Picts used to attack the Roman military all the time. So, as you remember, the Roman Emperor Hadrian actually decided to build a wall to keep like a wall between the Picts in Scotland and the rest of Britain. Okay, this helped the Romans to defend their land in Britain that they were occupying. Okay, they could also control who was coming in, who was coming out. Okay, they could also charge taxes and so on. All right, as you remember, it was built by 3 Roman legions, which is 15,000 men. So if you use your math brain, that's 15,000 divided by 3, that's 1 legion is 5,000 men. Using mostly stone, it was 117.5 kilometers long. As I explained before, that's as if the distance between Abu Dhabi and Dubai on the highway, which is not a short distance at all. It was up to 6 meters high and 3 meters wide. This meant that 2 Roman soldiers could perform sentry duty side by side. All right, what were the features of the wall? Okay, there was a mile castle containing 20 soldiers every Roman mile. 1 Roman mile was 1.5 kilometers. There was a turret guarded by soldiers built every 500 meters. That's like the size of the quad in school. And then there were major forts that were built along the wall every 8 kilometers, as if the distance between Dalma Mall and Khalifa City A. These forts could accommodate between 500 and to 1,000 soldiers at once, so it was massive. All right. Roman soldiers had life at the wall, as you know. Let me move my camera so we can see the text properly. All right, there were thousands of soldiers stationed along the wall, okay? So the emperor had to make it possible for them to stay at this wall for a long period of time. You cannot send soldiers somewhere and not give them food or access to bathroom, okay? So inside the forts were barracks for the soldiers, which is a larger house for the commander and his family. So a commander who was like a leader of the soldiers at the wall had a barrack, which was a larger house. There was a grain store, toilets, and sometimes a hospital. Okay, there was a bathhouse sometimes, and over some time, because of so many soldiers were living at the wall, villages and communities developed around the fort. So when they when they built the wall and the forts, there was just a land, just an empty land. But after some time, an actual towns and villages developed around the forts. These settlements or these places would contain houses, shops, temples, and taverns. They were probably where the soldiers' wives and families lived. So obviously, the soldiers could not take their family to the wall, except for the commander, who had his own barracks inside the wall. But the soldiers' families could live outside the wall in small towns and settlements. Sorry, my computer is a little slow today. Oh, there we go. All right, one of the forts was called Housestead. It had a hospital, granary, which was the grain store, barracks, workshop, and toilets. These are the old ruins. Okay, this is how it looks these days. It's not there anymore, obviously, but we can still see the ruins. If you can, in the future, when you are old enough to travel, you can actually visit it. All right, so there was life at the wall. A Roman road called Steingate, if you remember, there was a special Roman road where that was built to supply the soldiers that were staged at Hadrian's wall. Grain was kept dry in a store by the use of a hypocaust, similar to the system used in Roman baths. Okay, it was a system for heating the floors. Okay, so obviously in the north it was very cold, so the soldiers need to stay warm at the same time. All right, so this is your activity for today. This activity will have two parts. Part number one, questions and answers, and number two, which is drawing a diagram. All right, so what will we do now? Using your knowledge from the previous lesson, what we learned about the wall, okay, answer the questions on the worksheet. So obviously you are going to be using your analyzing brain, critical logical thinking, using evidence from the previous lessons or even from this lesson, the recap that we did to answer the questions. Then you will also be using linking brain. You will use what you remember from the previous lessons to link it to this lesson. And we will also be using creating originality, since you will be drawing a picture, okay, or a diagram of the wall. I would like you to be original. I would like you to be creative. So you are going to be using your creating originality, okay, part of your brain. All right, make sure you show a mile, castle, turret, and fort, okay, in your diagram drawing. And the design and how you're going to do it, it's completely up to you, okay? Show me what you got, basically. Right. Let me just open that worksheet just to clarify exactly what are you meant to be doing in this lesson. Right. So first part of this worksheet or this activity is questions. When was the wall built and how long did it take? Okay. So when you need to find the year it was built, okay, and how long did it take to build, okay, you will find all that information in the PowerPoint in the PowerPoint from today's lesson. Who ordered the wall to be built? Who wanted to build the wall? Why was the wall built? What was the reason for that? Who built the wall? Okay, now I'm not asking who asked to build the wall, but who actually physically built the wall. Where does the wall start and end? You can go back to the lesson from Monday and look at this piece of information, look it up. So there was a city, okay, or a town where it started and where it ended. And what features does the wall have and what are they for? So just try to remember what kind of features. There was a turret. If I go back to, you can as well go back to the PowerPoint presentation. You can just look at any information you want. Okay, so let's say I'm not sure about the features. I just remember this slide. There was mile castle, there was turrets, there were forts. Okay, I know that. Okay, there were barracks, there was grain store, toilet, sometimes a hospital. Okay, all of these were features of the wall. Let me take a look at that worksheet again. Yeah, and don't forget to describe what were they for. Guys, just to remind you, when you're answering these questions, please don't answer just with one word, like who ordered the wall to be built? I don't want to say the answer, but let's say the answer is my mom, okay? Please don't write my mom. Write a full sentence. The wall, my mom ordered the wall to be built. Okay, just answer with a full sentence each question. All right, and the second part here, now draw a diagram. Diagram is a simplified drawing, okay? It means it doesn't have to be very detailed, it just has to be very simplified, okay? Make sure you show a mile castle, turret, and a fort, okay? So just a simple drawing, you can add color. I'm gonna leave it up to you completely, the way you want to do it, okay? But just draw a diagram, okay? Simplify drawing, and you can do some labeling if you want, okay? You can add any information to it you want. Surprise me, okay? All right, so that's it. And now at the end of the lesson, oh, there we go. We have the SNI, okay? You have the learning objectives, your success criteria, and what HPL you were using in that lesson, okay? So if you can, print this out, stick it in your notebook, stick it in your notebook, and finish your work. If you can't print it out, it's absolutely fine. At least you can read it and try to think about how your learning went this day. Anyway, this is the end of the lesson. I hope I explained it well, and I hope everyone understands what to do. Looking forward, all your teachers are looking forward to take a look at your work. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you relax a lot and take it easy, stay at home and stay safe. And see you next week. Bye.